the upcoming APC National Convention, which is scheduled for this weekend. Of course, there is a press statement to that effect. The activities for that convention begins 24th of February, which is just tomorrow. And did the All Progressives Congress have to wait till this time? Amidst all the problems, all the issues faced by the party, why did they have to wait till maybe tomorrow before they begin activities for the Congress, which is scheduled to begin on the 26th? Well, issues that you get to find out are taught by, of course, a political affairs analyst in the person of Victor Onomo. Good to have you back on the show.
Good morning, Otto. Good to be back to the show. And within this period, a lot have happened, and a lot will continue to happen because this period of happenings.
Indeed. The week is already an eventful one as it is because the protests are ongoing. It's currently ongoing in Abuja to get the president to assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Let me quickly ask you on that one before we dive into the issue of the day. Do you feel the protests will do any good?
Well, it should. You see, that is the beauty of democracy. When the president, if the president is about, let's say, what they're playing is almost becoming a hand in glove with the National Assembly. The National Assembly is not willing to veto the president, and the president is not, because if you look at prior to 2015, the All Progressive Congress had tapped on electoral reform. So if they do nothing about electoral reform, it simply means they are not ready to change the particular status quo ante, which was their preaching. The change. So what has changed about the political system? So if you cannot have the we cannot make laws, cannot enact law to change what we preach against, what we say was bad. So I also call on the civil society to mount pressure on Mr. President to assent to that bill. Okay,
do you think the strategy is actually working for them now that they're in power and they feel reluctant to change it?
Yes, that is what people don't know. You won't be in power forever. This power is transient. For 8 years, those things you find difficult to change within your time in office will haunt you later because you will regret not doing what you ought to have done. So I call on the president. You see, you don't, because today something is not favoring you, because that is what it means. Because the process did not favor them. They shouted. It means they played on the emotions of Nigerians. What were those changes they clamored for? One of the changes was electoral reform. So if there is no electoral reform by this administration, it means we've been deceived, and that is wrong.
Well, let's quickly look at this press statement by Senator James Akpanu-Odoidege, who happens to be the Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, the National Secretary, of course. That will inform our basis for conversation now. He first said 24th of March, and now he's talking about 24th of February, which has to be tomorrow, which happens to be tomorrow. Either ways, do you feel that is ample time?
I don't know when political. I'm very disappointed. I don't know when political activities became a football league where you begin activity and it runs for 1 month. I don't even know if the APC constitution. Let me not be categorical about it. I don't even know if the APC constitution recognizes this kind of arrangement. What we have had in the past have always been Congress. You call for National Congress. We've not had zonal leaders are often elected during national congresses. So the idea of starting this, that is why I say these politicians, sometimes they get on our nerves. You see, if a politician, to me, all those politicians with active ambition for 2023 should be relieved of party running. Because otherwise, the parties will run into conflict. Because whatever they will do, whatever arrangement they will do it in such a way that their interests come first. And you know, the primary aim of politicking is even personal interest. Personal interest come before community or group interest. So what I want is this. Within this period, it gives room for so much crisis. The crisis that will come from zonal congress could be carried to the national congress. And I don't see, with this kind of thing going on, I don't see peace, absolute peace in the APC in the next future.
Talking about peace and talking about relieving people who are manning offices at the party level and also holding public offices. Now Hassan Hawal happens to be a Kanu chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, and he still sticks to the fact that he wants the Buni-led caretaker committee to be dissolved and another committee set up that will handle the National Congress.
But that is the truth. That is the truth. I don't even know how Buni is handling governance in Yobe State. I think within these days I'll have to take a look at that political activities and governance in Yobe State. That's a whole lot of distraction. To man a national political party like the All Progressive Congress and still run a state, does it mean we don't have politicians within the APC who are not holding office that can manage this properly? If you do this, there will be absolute conflict. Like what you are seeing here, with all due respect to the National Secretary, the National Secretary wants to be a governor. In it, you can even see what is happening in the People Democratic Party in Akwa Ibom State, where the entire system is collapsing because people have to go on campaign. You find commissioners on the street every day going on campaign. You find House of Assembly members every day going on campaign. We can't deceive ourselves that governance will collapse in where such a thing happened. So if you come back, you look at that again, look at the All Progressive Congress. This is the secretary of the party, a man who is actually running for governorship. You see, he needs time to pursue his aspiration. Those who are not running for offices in come 2023 should be allowed to manage the party to ensure that every interest within the party everybody is carried along and ensure the party runs peacefully. Let me tell you, if APC runs into crisis, it's not funny. It's going to affect governance. It's going to affect the entire economy.
Now, a lot of persons have taken this same case to court, and most of the court ruling are in favor of the present committee.
Well, the party is the courts and the party. I don't know. I don't want to take a swipe on the judiciary. But what I say is that if the party, we've discussed this over time, if the party is left in the hands of the people to run the party, if the party belongs to the people and the people run the party, you wouldn't have issues going to the judiciary. The judiciary don't invite the party. When you see so many court cases, it simply means inability of the managers of the party to run parties properly. That is why it results in so many crises. The APC has well over 105 cases pending in court across the nation. Is that a good sign? It's not a good sign. It's an indication that the party is not properly run. There's so much conflict of interest within the party, occasioned by people's dream, people's aspiration. Because the moment you have an aspiration and you are running the party, I become suspicious of you. And what happened? Politicians would normally want to create factions that will favor them. And once these factions are created, it means we have run into crisis. That is crisis.
Well, talking about crisis, now there are allegations that the Buni-led caretaker committee is doing a lot of things deliberately to shame the president. One of which is when he fixed the convention for 26th of March, which happens to be a date for others of elections across the country. Do you share in this line of thought?
I don't want to share that line of thought. If that happens, I will begin to say that it means the president has lost control of the party. The president is the leader of the party. The president is enjoying what he's enjoying today because of the party. If he shouldn't allow the party to collapse, what we expect of a president or of a decisive president, when things are going like that, the president should call all interests within the party to a round table and tell them, this is the direction I want the party to go. So for the president to even keep quiet is an accomplice in whatever is happening.
Wouldn't that amount to the president imposing his will on the party?
No, not to impose. That doesn't amount to imposing your will. It's calling all interests together and discussing with them. Then giving direction to go. If you want to go again, forget about what is happening in courses. What is the actual legitimacy of the Buni-led administration? They were not elected by the people. They were only given what is caretaker without tenure. What do you call that kind of caretaker arrangement? The caretaker was supposed to serve the party for 6 months. It starts transforming from 6 months to 8 months, 8 months to 12 months, 12 months to a year. Now he's going to run a full tenure as if it was elected by the people. That is more of a crafty arrangement than political arrangement. And we have to stop it, whether you are a member of the APC, because what you allow to happen in APC today and you are laughing will definitely happen in the PDP. If you allow crisis to brew in the PDP today and you are making mockery because you're a member of the APC, definitely you come close to you and you look at these people who they keep crisscrossing. Because sometimes, like I tell you, when I put the APC here, I put the PDP here, I only see 1,012. Because the same people who were there in 2015 are the one who move over to that side in 2029. And we expect a crop of them to also move to this other side in 2023. What we need is a stable political system where hope is given to those who have also come to join the political party. Nobody, okay, who is speaking for the common man now? All this is happening at the national level. What is the effect on the grassroots? What are the benefits of this crisis to the people at the grassroots? And I tell you, unless the party is owned by the people, crises like this will continue.
Quite frankly, very soon, sooner than later, the primaries will kick off, and who takes the flag for which political party will soon be the discourse on media. But just before then, I would like to ask, the presidential position has been very, very controversial in recent times. Now, in the Southwest, where Ahmed Bola Tinubu comes from, deserves a spot. They want a spot. The Southeast, they say they deserve it. And of course, the North Central say they have been deprived under the People's Democratic Party regime for over time, and they've not had opportunity to ascend the #1 position in the country. Which section of the country deserves more?
Let me start with the North Central. The gentleman agreement, which subsists both in the PDP and the APC, has zoning in two directions, the North and the South. So the issue of North Central is completely ruled out. Like the PDP constitution has it that the power should be rotated between the North and the South. The APC recognizes that arrangement too. So I consider the entrance of the North Central as a huge distraction. Now, discussing equity and truth, justice and truth, I will tell you that the Southwest, based on how they voted, since power is coming to the South, based on their voting pattern, absolutely deserve the APC ticket. The Southeast, having worked, it will be a complete misnomer. To me, it will be political wickedness for the PDP not to hand a ticket to the Southeast in 2023. It is just to do so. They've continuously voted for the PDP. They've staked their thing for the PDP. You know, originally, when we had this new republic, the Igbos, naturally, you know, they like to follow Ojukwu, late Ojukwu. When Ojukwu came up with the Abga, they followed him, but at risk, unlike them, because of their penchant to also be part of the national politics. They left the Abga and supported the People's Democratic Party, except for Anambra. Even in Anambra, during governorship election, if you check, they don't present presidential candidates. During the governorship election, they vote for Abga, but during presidential election, they vote for the People's Democratic Party. And that's why you can see easily people like Soludo, who were core PDP members, now going to Abga to be elected governors. So in all that, the People's Democratic Party should sit back and zone the presidency to the Southeast. They deserve it. Because if you go now to see, at a time when the Southeast were busy voting in majority for the PDP, the Southwest were voting in majority for the APC. So if power comes to the South, if the members of the All Progressive Congress in the Southeast can negotiate with the Southwest to grab power, well, so be it. But mathematically, by voting, how they voted over time, that is how the power should be shared.
Okay, well, just quickly before we call it a wrap, the person of Ahmed Bola Tinubu and his aspirations. He has gone all out and a series of consultations, and it so happens to be it happens to be the most attacked in terms of blackmail and all of that.
Let's be fair. Need less blackmailing Bola Tinubu. Bola Tinubu is qualified to run for a presidency. Bola Tinubu is one of those who masterminded the current democratic dispensation we are having now. He took the risk. He took the risks of his life. He was there with Abiola during the June 12th election. He was one of the people who were hunted down to diaspora by the Abacha administration. So if he comes back, he has also had the most stable political environment. He has also succeeded in churning out. If you look at the bulk of in the president, check the presidency. How many Bola boys do you have there? So many of them. Go to the National Assembly. You have a lot of Bola Tinubu boys. From the speaker to a lot of them, there are Bola. That is to tell you that he has groomed people over time. That if we want to vote him out, we should vote him out democratically, not by blackmailing him because he has spent his dues. I am not Bola Tinubu boys. I am not a member of the All Progressive Congress. But the truth remains that you cannot even discuss the emergence of Buhari without Bola Tinubu. So I am not saying.
Are you saying based on compensation?
No, that's what I want to debunk. It's not compensation. The question is that, is he qualified to run? Should he run? Then do you need to blackmail him before you can run? Everybody wants to run. We should go above this. Whoever wants to go for presidency must not target an individual. And for him to be targeted, then he's the golden boy for the race. That is it. Because all attention now, and they are now playing the kind of politics that played out in 2015. You understand? People were targeting and abusing Buhari. They abused him into Aso Rock. They left what they were supposed to discuss. They left to discuss the economy. They left to debate on the political system. All their target was on Buhari, and that's how they abuse him into Rock. And I'm afraid they might just abuse Tinubu into Aso Rock.
Well, away from that, now looking at these critical issues real quick, now issues like age and all of that, do you think it favors him, or do you think regardless
the issue, if you talk about health, I'm not his doctor to say whether he's healthy enough.
Age.
That should be his doctor. Age, is Tinubu older than Biden? Is Tinubu older than Donald Trump? Why do we pretend so much in this country? Why were we busy promoting the candidates of Biden and Donald Trump? Very old men who are even older than Bola Tinubu. And when it comes here, if we talk about performance by the youth, have the youth in power here actually proven to us that they are capable of taking over from the older generation? We have somebody in that place from North Central who has not paid workers for a very long time. Just few minutes to go into political race, he has started raising workers' salary. What happened to the salary of the workers all along? Do you want me to mention? Is the Abia State? Have you checked the state of affairs economy in Abia State? Is it not being mounted by a young man? What have the young people do? This country is not about how old you are, how patriotic are you. What you have is stock for the people. After all, the president is not going to be the 19 ministers. The president is not going to be all the governors. All we need is political sincerity. That's what we need.
Well, many thanks for sharing your thoughts with us on the show. It was quite expressive. I could see you going all out to defend the candidacy or the aspirations of... you're saying the truth. Oh, real good. Well, great to share your thoughts with you. And many thanks for being on the show.
It's always a pleasure.
Well, you guys, that has been our show for today. Please join us tomorrow for another edition of Political Spectrum. My name is Otobasi Tom. Bye for now.